Okay, here we go. All right, everybody, welcome to the Porter Ranch Neighborhood Council Special Board Meeting, Sunday, the January 24th, 2021. It's 6 p.m. The meeting will begin now. A few reminders, the meeting is open to the public via the web or over the phone. Board members will only appear on the screen while all public attendees will be on audio only. Everyone is normally muted except when given the floor to speak. All members of the public may provide comment to the board on each agenda item and during general public comment. When an agenda item is up, the board president will ask for public comment on that item. Use a computer control or phone controls to raise your hand, which will let the board president know that you wish to make comment. Does anybody have any questions on how to raise your hand? Because I'm going to skip all that other stuff and we'll move on. The meeting is being recorded and will be posted to our website at a later time. We suggest you click on gallery view and you'll see all the board members on the screen at the same time. You can use the question and Q&A tab to ask procedural or technical questions, but no questions about motions or board business will be answered during the meeting. Any procedural questions before we start? All righty. Lori, will you call the roll, please?
I don't see Lori, Mr. President.
She's
All
here.
right.
She just
I
joined.
see her now. I see her now.
Sorry, I just got on. I have to find the paper. Hold on.
Right when I open my mouth, I see you pop on the screen. Hi, Lori.
She's muted.
Lori,
She's
unmute
looking for her
yourself.
paper.
Yeah.
She's trying to be polite and not let us hear her shuffle papers.
That's our Mary.
Sorry, David, do you have the paper? I don't have it.
Maybe Francis can call.
Francis, can you call the roll, please?
Thank you. Wasn't ready.
All right, Brandy.
Here.
Hi, Hassan.
I'm here.
Hey, Jason.
Hello.
Becky.
Here.
Dave Lasher.
Yes.
Hi, Dave. Hey, Lori.
Here.
Assad.
Here.
David Balin.
Here.
Mark Mayron and Gabriel are all absent, I believe. So we
Yes.
have quorum.
Thank you very much. All right. And let's move on. Do we have
And
any
Mehran,
update?
Francis, you forgot Mehran. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, I said Mark Mayron and Gabriel together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got a
And
football
also,
game. to get to.
also keep in mind that Mark Haynes is not present.
Yeah, Mark Mayron
said
and
that.
Gabriel.
Okay, great.
We're going
I
to move
only-
on to item number 4. Do we have any representatives or elected officials at this time? No,
Yes,
we don't.
we have Mary.
No. And, well, she'll be speaking on the motion. Thank you. Do we have any public comment? Let me see. We have an attendee. Hold on. Let's see who's in the attendee. Oh, that's Mary. Okay. All right. So let's move on. And I'll stop wasting everybody's time. We have item number 6. We have a motion for discussion and possible action to send a letter in support of LAUSD schools to become vaccination sites within our communities. And I'm going to unmute Mary and I'm going to turn it over to Mary. And I'm very grateful that you're here today.
Oh, I'm glad to be. David, thank you so much.
Can you put the letter up?
And I just put you as a panelist. So you're in the meeting altogether. There's the letter.
Sorry, I didn't read it all.
For the record, David, can you announce who she is more than just her name, like her position, why she's speaking, that sort of thing?
I'm going to turn it over to Mary Melvin and I'll let her introduce herself. Mary? Please
There
unmute
we
you.
go. I should have my video on, yes, and I am
Yes.
unmuted. Woohoo!
CC.
There, for those of you I have not met, my name is Mary Melvin. I know a great number of you because I was previous principal at Porter Ranch Community School, very proudly. I am now the Community of Schools Administrator for Local District Northwest, and I oversee the schools that feed into Chatsworth, so Porter Ranch is one of them, and Canoga Park High School. I reached out to your president, Mr. David Balin, with hopefully a request and a favor and to share some information. So the LA Unified Schools would like to be able to offer our school sites as vaccination sites. The logic for us is we're already doing COVID testing of all the LA Unified families. So if you have a child that goes to an LA Unified school, you can go to Frost or Lawrence and get COVID testing. It's completely free of charge. And the plan, of course, when we come back to school is to continue that so we can maintain safety. So we have the facilities, we've got the procedures in place. Our nurses are being trained to be able to give vaccinations. We have freezer and refrigeration systems. Our logic is that every community has a school. So it's a logical location. Even if we started with high schools like Chatsworth, that's done our grab and go for all this time, to be able to offer our schools as vaccination sites, a couple purposes. It would reach our families and communities. It would allow us to bring our kids back to school that much sooner because we can get our teachers vaccinated and our families vaccinated, eventually students, but we're not quite that far yet. Additionally, one of our concerns is some of our communities are predominantly Hispanic communities. The families have been hesitant to get vaccinated. And so our belief is that if we're able to offer it at the school sites, it's close to where they are, they trust their schools and they're comfortable with their schools, it can offset some of the high numbers. Some of our communities like Van Nuys and Pacoima have really high COVID numbers. So the sooner we can get folks in and get them vaccinated, the sooner hopefully we can get our whole city back to normal. I know, right? Please. So our hope is that the Porter Ranch Neighborhood Council would feel comfortable sending our supervisor and potentially even our council members a letter in support of being able to vaccinate at the school sites. That going forward, the governor has wanted to stick to just central locations for vaccinations, like Dodger Stadium, for example. They've branched out a little bit to some of the universities. The logic being that, you know, those larger sites can accommodate large crowds. But our belief is that smaller locations closer to where people live will really expedite this whole process. So any questions about our hopefully?
We have two questions and they're coming in rapidly. Assad raised his hand first. Assad?
Yes, thank you, Mary. And I think the timing of the letter came in a very correct time, because the past week we at the safety committee been discussing that when the county started all over the city, that we needed centers in Porter Ranch. And immediately the first two we thought of is PRCS and the Castle Bay.
Absolutely.
Logistics is going to be a challenge, but we're going to work somehow, because there is as you know, there is the registration zone, there is the vaccination zone, and then there is the waiting after you vaccinate so that they monitor if you're okay. It's going to be a challenge, but I think we're up to it. It's more of really directing traffic and all that, but I am 100% for it, and it came exactly in the right time. We were thinking of drafting a letter, and here you go. Your email came to David, and it's like, it's a blessing. So I'm for it.
Perfect timing. Well, and I think some people's original concern was, oh my goodness, but the numbers will be so large, but they won't be that large. Think about it. If all the schools are taking care of their families, that it's not that everyone certainly would come to PRCS, just the PRCS families, and it would be by reservation and, you know, a similar schedule. And you know, PRCS, we can get our traffic group on there and help moving forward. Thank
Brandy,
you.
please.
David, you said there was another question?
Oh yeah, they're coming in. So Brandy?
We're a big group on communication and questions. Mary, first of all, thank you for doing this. I've been a big fan of yours for a while. And I think this is important. I just want to be sure, are you aware of any pushback from teachers, staff, nurses, or any LAUSD related unions?
No.
Excellent.
No, we're not. The good news is the nurses follow under UTLA, the teachers union, and they've already started. They made a side letter agreement, and on the side letter agreement, spring semester, they're back to work at school sites, learning how to do testing and prepare for vaccination. So the agreement was already made with their union, which helps tremendously.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Becky?
I was wondering who drafted this letter.
It came from Central, to be honest with you. It was not yours truly.
It's excellent.
Oh, yay. Good.
It's
I'm
an
glad.
excellent letter, and I'm reading it and I'm going, oh my gosh, this letter is awesome. Thank you Will you thank them for me, Mary?
100% I will. You know, I tend to be too wordy, Becky. So I was describing how the kids and they would benefit, and they're like, yeah, just stop. They got the meat and potatoes.
It's an excellent letter, and I'm so proud to sign it.
Thank you. Oh, that's wonderful.
David Lasher.
I think it's a hi, Mary.
Hello
Great,
there.
great letter, great effort. I think it's a no-brainer. We don't have, especially for us, we don't have, CSUN's down the road, but in Porter Ranch, we really don't have anything beyond like the town center parking lot. We don't have a large post office or a large any kind of government facility. So I think the schools are a perfect location, especially that flow of traffic we can control. So I totally support it.
We're thinking too.
Yeah.
Ah, thank you. Yeah, we were
Hassan?
thinking combination.
I think you're right, though. Isolating it just to us, if we don't have people coming from
No.
Simi
Yeah.
Valley or Canoga, because that would be the problem.
Oh yeah, no. It would have to just be our school member families, and it would
That's-
just be Porter Ranch school member families too.
That's a great plan.
Hassan?
Yes, hi, Mary. Thank you for this presentation and information. I am in full support of it with an asterisk that, you mentioned about logistics and, how it's going to be done. I read the letter. Frankly, I do have some concern about it. I mean, I'm not opposing, signing off to it, but it seems like it's quite a bit of undertaking with, refrigeration and, each school having its own setup and, trying to deal with that. So I just want to make sure, everyone has really thought through this completely, and we are not going to start the process announcing it and then, kind of, where is the fallback position on this?
Absolutely. One of the plans right now that is in place, they're talking about if we get approval going forward, that we'll start with the high schools first because they're larger facilities, and then get the high schools rolling. And once that's going smoothly, then open up to the feeder schools. And that way it'll be a little bit slower rollout, but a smooth rollout, because that's our fear as well. If we're going to do this, it's got to be pretty perfect. It really does. Like our COVID testing systems have been working really well. We've not had any concerns, safety concerns, even long lines. It's been going pretty smoothly too. And luckily all of our schools are required to have large refrigeration systems, so that we know that part's in place already.
Right. Okay, great. Really happy to hear that you're going to start with the larger campuses, because that's really where you get tested and see how well it goes. So if that's successful, hopefully you can roll it out to the smaller campuses. So thank you for that.
Of course. Yeah, no, thank you.
Jason Hector?
Hi, Mary.
Hi,
Thanks for
Jason,
joining
how are
us.
you? I'm so glad to be here.
Good. We're happy to hear, and it's funny because David and I were just talking about this idea of right now it's like Six Flags and I think CSUN only
Yes.
area. So that's great. You basically what you said was exactly what my notes were saying. It's so LAUSD has a distinct advantage with their connections to their families.
Mhm.
And I was just thinking, because we've gotten 2 vaccines already. We went to Holmes,
Hey.
not a vaccine, I'm sorry,
No,
testing.
COVID testing. I totally
Yeah,
understand.
we use the testing, and it's nice. They have a big gym. You come in. It seemed like maybe the slow part was the nurse. Not the nurses. Maybe they gonna have to ramp that up somewhat. But one thing that you didn't mention, something to think about, is volunteers. My dad is a doctor. He was retired, and he's been giving shots at CSUN, but he's been getting turned away because they have already a lot of other physicians. So there are volunteers out there, in addition to the because this is going to be a big deal. I mean, we really have to go at this with everything we got. So I'm so excited that we're going to work together on this. Happy to hear you answered my question. My question was kind of like how you see this rolling out. So is Granada, I know they're not they're non-affiliated charter. Would they be potentially included in? That was one question I had.
They won't
in
be
this,
for us because they're independent, so they won't be.
Yeah. Got it.
But our logic is if the powers that be approve us to do it, then certainly they would approve Granada as well.
Yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't, do it on their own or whatever. So yeah, I just want to mention about the, and I want to talk a little bit about the vaccines themselves. And I know there's been a lot of people saying that, that the rollout, the vaccines haven't been getting out. There's been shortages. What I'm hearing is they're going to be ramping this thing up, that they're really going to be starting to get more vaccine out on the 2 that are already approved. And the one from J&J is 1 shot. And there's another
Right.
one as well. And I think it's AstraZeneca. So there's potentially 2 more coming, and there should be substantial ramp out. So this is so important that we build out this school, vaccination capabilities at all of our schools, if possible, because, this is what we need to do. And I'm so glad that, that we're taking action on COVID. It's just a very important thing for me. And one other last thing, I'll just say, the information as it comes out and we get more of it and we get a better understanding of things, I think it would be a good idea to have some kind of event or town hall or something possibly led by maybe LAUSD in partnership with the county and the state. And then you could bring in your healthcare providers, your pharmacies, because one of the challenges is that for the 65 and over is technology in a lot of cases and information and, getting onto the websites. My mom has been trying to get a vaccine on the website and it's very challenging. And I was told Kaiser is giving vaccines, but it'd be nice if we know, okay, who's giving vaccines? Are they giving it at Rouse? Are they giving it at CVS? Are they giving it at Kaiser? So, this sharing of information is so important. So I think if there's some kind of maybe virtual town hall or something down the road as the information comes out, that would be something we could work together on. But I think it's so important. We have good outreach channels that we can use to distribute information. So, thank you for coming to our meeting and sending the letter. And thank you, David, for taking this issue on and calling the special meeting.
Thank you, Jason.
And
Mary, don't get ready to go because there's hands coming in. I have Sherry Darihani in.
Oh.
Let me just unmute. Sherry, go ahead.
Can you hear me okay?
We can.
Oh, hi, Mary. How are
Sherry.
you? Congratulations on
Thank you.
your promotion.
Thank you, ma'am.
My kids are seniors. They're graduating this year.
Amazing.
Back to the subject at hand. I agree with Jason. I have friends that are 65 plus, and the only ones that know how to get onto the websites are the ones that watch the news and they go onto the Dodger Stadium one. But the average person over 65 probably needs something like a town hall or some kind of more of an announcement that's for local, like it's at Granada High or it's at PRCS or what have you. To spread the word on how to efficiently get an appointment is really important because a lot of people are already afraid of the vaccine and they make it harder and can't get on due to technical difficulties to sign up. That's going to be a problem. Thank you.
Sherry,
Thank you, Sherry.
I'm so glad you asked that because it kind of piggybacks on what Jason was saying too, and I was remiss in not mentioning it. So what LA Unified wants to roll out is it's an app. It's an app that you would add to your phone. And although sometimes people think, oh, good Lord, not another app, it's so easy to use. And it'll let you know when your appointment is, and you can register right through your phone. You can register online too, but it's much, much easier than navigating the county system. So they're going to actually roll that out even just for testing to our families soon so that people get comfort. Yay, yes, exactly. So that people get comfortable with it because you're 100% right. If it's too hard, people won't do it. So that's why we're trying to really come up with just simple tools and techniques. And going forward, let's say we're able to do this, you'll get your shot, then your app will let you know when your appointment shot is and will remind you. So it's a really good system that they're trying to roll out that hopefully will be, so far from what I've seen, it's really user-friendly.
Mary, we have 3 more follow-up questions. I'm going to go ahead. Becky, I'm going to unmute you.
Oh, thank you, David. Mary, one of the things I wanted to say is I think Castle Bay and PRCS are great locations, but PRCS has so much open territory, open land with such easy access that I think that it's just a no-brainer. It's a great location. And I'm just going to say something from people who are 75 and older like myself. I'm staying in place. I'm in my bubble and I will stand behind the line, not in front of it. So other people like teachers and their families can get the injection. And I don't like calling it a shot because you don't know if it's alcohol or what they're taking a shot of, but it is a shot. And I just think that PRCS is a perfect location. We've got long streets that lead to it. They can register. It's a no-brainer. And I'm just so thankful for you for giving the people of the world this opportunity to save their lives.
Oh,
And that's it.
Thank you, Becky. My goodness.
Thank you, Becky. Brandy?
Yes, since logistics were brought up, a point I wanted to make is to keep in mind, this isn't a short-term thing. Pfizer announced on Friday that they had just filled enrollment for their next set of trials, which is for ages 12 to 15. And they said in their optimistic view, a vaccine for ages 12 and up won't be available until September. And that for the under 12, it is unlikely to be available at any time in 2021. So we're not talking about something that's going to be a lot of kids or a lot of families all coming together at once. This is going to be months and months and months stretched out. And I think I like the idea of doing the high schools first. I think that getting to the elementary schools will be good because obviously the elementary students won't be able to be there for longer. But yeah, so I think this can work because we have a really long time to figure it out. We don't have to worry about crowded streets or lots of things. One thing I want to put as a bug in your ear, Mary. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to see if we have not that I'm saying nothing's going to happen till summer, but think about being able to have summer. That helps too. Sorry, go ahead, Brandy.
You're exactly right. Just a bug in your ear to keep in mind, especially I love that you're doing the app, and as a programmer, if you need any assistance or need a tester, I'm happy to help. And there's been issues where people miss their appointments, but they've already thawed out the vaccine and they end up just throwing it away.
Yeah.
So, working with people to figure out what kind of contingencies we can do so that we have less that's thrown away is just something to put a bug in your ear and think about.
Oh, absolutely.
But
Board,
good luck to you.
Board, I'm going to move on unless it's something that.
Shall I say the final comment and then you move on?
Yeah, because we really have to call a vote.
Okay,
So we let
I
Mary
know.
go, please.
So Mary, just to finalize from what everybody said, from working with the city of LA vaccination and all that, so far our success with the Moderna because no refrigeration. So probably that's where LAUSD will be heading. The town hall, we're working with as the ad hoc committee, and our ad hoc chair, David Lasher, is working on it. So it's coming, and probably we will coordinate with you to get more people familiar, at least with the lacounty.gov. It's an excellent on website that has every availability in everywhere in the county, and it's linked to the app. The app is very easy. You go in, you reserve, and then it keeps track of you. And it tells you when your appointment is up. I already used it and it's working. And then what we've been doing from the city perspective, when we feel there is a lot of maybe thrown away vaccination, we have a waiting list where we encourage people to come and wait in line. And last Wednesday, we took people who are waiting in line, 800 people, just without registration or anything. Otherwise, we would have thrown the 800 away. And we thank you again, and we're here to support you in whatever it is with the logistics and all that. We're here.
It's fabulous. Thank you so much.
All right, board. Mary, thank you. You can stick around and listen to the vote if you'd like, or you can go on or whatever you'd like. Board, I'm gonna call the motion unless we have any other questions on the motion. The motion was the discussion and possible action to support this letter for LAUSD schools to become a vaccination site in the community. Do I have a second?
I second.
Assad beat me to it.
Yep.
Okay, David Lasher, he's the ad
Yes.
hoc chair.
Let David Lasher take it since he's.
Yeah, David Lasher, you're the ad hoc
All
chair.
right, thank you.
Great, thanks.
Lori, are you ready to call the vote, or do you want to let
No, have Francis do it today.
Francis please call the vote?
She's still there?
She is, but she's muted.
Oh,
Hey, cutie.
Francis?
oh,
Jason's getting an extra vote.
I'm sorry, I was muted myself. I'm sorry. Brandy,
Yes, absolutely.
Hassan,
Yes.
thank you. Jason.
Yes.
Jason, thank you. Mayron,
Yes.
Becky,
Yeah.
David Lasher,
Yes.
thank you. Lori Choi,
yes.
Assad,
Yes,
David Balin,
Yes.
Mark Haynes and Gabriel. Not there. Okay, unanimous.
thank you.
Thank
All
you, Mary.
right.
Passes.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Mary. You'll have this in your bin tonight.
I really appreciate it.
And I will send it personally as well.
Thank you. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Thank you. I figure the more the merrier. Thank you
I'll
all.
send it.
Mary, good night.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night, board.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
On that note, the board is, this meeting is concluded. I thank you for your time and I thank you for coming out for the community.
Thank
This
you.
meeting was very valuable.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you to
Thank-
our attendees for showing up.
Absolutely. Thank you for our guests as
Absolutely.
well. Attendees and panelists. Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Okay, bye.
Good night.
Very soon.